we are complying with today. That government has to be able to bring the necessary legislation, but not just enough to do the legislation. It is the enforcement of the legislation now that is going to be important, so that we are able to state firmly and with confidence that Barbados meets the international standards in relation to how it does its pesticide management, and that they can vouch for the quality of the food which they offer. It also means that you must have pesticide registration. It means you have to exercise control over the actual sale. And you would have heard that the Honourable Member for St. Philip South talk about the need to get a license in order to be able to use a particular chemical. Along with government, industry now is important. And here in the Caribbean, we have not yet developed, none that I know of, we have not yet developed enterprises that really look at the development of pesticide control substances or approaches. And perhaps that might be an opportunity for us to be able to investigate and research better ways of the management of pesticides, and to be able to take something to the world in terms of turning out enterprises that can offer these as products or services to the farming community in CARICOM and further abroad. Internationally, there is a lot of assistance for countries who are seeking to transform their agriculture. Indeed, in the post-Cotonou agreement that will soon be signed between the European Union and the CARIFORUM countries, one of the areas that comes up for consideration in the agreement is the issue of smart, sustainable agriculture. And what we've noted in international organizations is that they're seeking to assist various countries in being able to establish the analytical laboratories which we need to be able to do the necessary investigation. That is one of the shortcomings that Barbados has suffered from for many years and has limited our ability to be able to trade with Martinique or Guadeloupe or Suriname, because we've not had the lab services to be able to test our product and therefore vouch for its quality. But I can assure the country that the Minister of Agriculture, the Honourable Member for St. Philip South, has that well in hand. And so, Mr. Speaker, if we can be successful in the effective use of the pesticides, if we can be successful in being able to develop the sanitary and phytosanitary legislation, if we are successful in being able to get laboratory services, the success of the Honourable Member for St. Philip South in achieving these things will help to drive the success of Barbados for a very long time into the future. And he would have left a powerful legacy for us as a nation and for the security of our people. Because if we can succeed in this, Barbados will be able to get involved in a regional production program. And this has been very important, and the heads of government have been driving this particular process. They have created the formation of the CARICOM Private Sector Association, which brings together the private sector from across the region, and they have tasked them with the 25 in 25 program to be able to reduce our import bill in the region by at least $450 million and move it gradually until we're able to get to our desired goal. And this is something I look forward to. I'm also equally pleased to share that we've had the formation of the CARICOM Manufacturers Association, where a number of manufacturing associations around the region have come together to form a regional body so that they too can look at how they can move forward in terms of production. And one of the things that they will be seeking to cash in on will be the manufacturing of agro products. Now, I know in Barbados, we often say that our private sector tends to be laid back, tends not to step forward, tends to avoid risk. But one of the things that I have been seeing over these past 2.5 years is that we have a number of businesses who are now stepping forward thinking outside of the box, stepping out and doing new things. And so we have a number of them that are seeking to get involved in the agro production area. And so I'm looking forward to Barbados having more products, a diversity of products to be able to bring to the market. So, Mr. Speaker, I just want to end by congratulating the honorable member and also to share, to also congratulate the other ministries that work assiduously together to help us advance the benefits for Barbados in terms of what we're going to do in the transformation of our economy. And many times I've heard, Mr. Speaker, people don't seem to hear when we speak, and this is unfortunate. I wish more people would listen to Parliament. But so often you hear people saying there's nothing happening in agriculture, we don't have an agricultural plan, and I'm wondering, where are they? What are they listening to? Because we're constantly announcing what we are doing and what people can look forward to. And I'm so pleased that the initiative which the Honourable Member for St. Philip South has started has not only galvanized the commercial farmers of Barbados, but has also galvanized the regular citizen. Between COVID and the Ministry of Agriculture, there's been such a tremendous interest in everybody looking to grow something. Even in a constituency as urban as St. James South, there has been an explosion of people who formerly did not have time to grow anything, who are now engaging in growing things in their backyard. And one of the things that I'm looking forward to is the Ministry of Agriculture being able to assist them by helping them to know the best ways in which to manage pesticides and the best ways in which to manage their crops so that they will have success in producing wholesome food that they can put on their tables. And so, Mr. Speaker, I just want to thank you for the opportunity to share and to thank the honorable member for bringing to this House the issue of pesticides management, giving us the opportunity to take control and to improve our health by making sure that we do not use harmful substances in the management of our agricultural production. I'm obliged to you.
Honourable Member for St. Philip South.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I wish to start by thanking all of my colleagues for the contribution they've made in support of this bill, and to say that I'm extremely pleased to know that we have recognized the work that is being done in the Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security. I'm sure the team at the ministry would be happy to note the tremendous support that they are getting from my colleagues as far as we move towards our transformational program and to bring agriculture into the 21st century. Mr. Speaker, the Honourable Member for St. Michael West asked a few questions which I would seek to address. Impact on coastal and marine environment, that was handled very eruditely by the member for St. Michael South. Equally, whether pesticides go into water reserve, collaboration between the ministries, implications for fisheries, protocols for prescription for use of chemicals, all were addressed very eruditely by the honourable member for St. Michael South. He did, however, ask about the situation on farmlands with the use of pesticides, and I am happy to report that there is a health and safety committee at the BAMC that deals specifically with these things. People who work in the fields dealing with pesticides or chemicals are given the appropriate gear to wear. And this is part of a review process that takes place where they must comply. So the BAMC is compliant. Sir, I have a document that clearly outlines, and I can make this a document of the House, because it is important that I cover some of the things that are captured here. The BAMC undertakes to comply and to act in conformity with all the statutory health and safety requirements and the International Labour Organization, ILO, Convention C-155 and C-184, Minister. And so therefore, the BAMC is compliant, and there are people who are working using pesticides or harmful chemicals are given the appropriate gear. The document goes on to address...
Armor document is from where? What document is it?
This is a document from the General Safety and Health Policy Statement from the BAMC. So I can make this a document of your house, Mr. Speaker. That, I believe, should address the concerns that were raised by the honorable member, the honorable leader of the opposition. And so, Mr. Speaker, I would like also to mention that in terms of testing, we have had conversation, as I mentioned before, at Cabinet, to deal with the strengthening of Barbados's national agriculture, health, and food control systems. And once the unit is established and we have the resources, Barbados also will be in a position to do its own testing through our sanitary and phytosanitary protocols. And these measures, a lot of work really has already been done. There are standards, manuals, and everything that are in place, but it's for us to continue that work, and we therefore need to present an entire budget for all this to Cabinet and then take this forward. It would mean legislative changes taking place as well, and we are pretty much on course to having this done. The honorable member for St. Michael South Central made some very important points, and I'm particularly pleased to note her interest in the development of agriculture and the transformational work that we are doing at the ministry. She mentioned food labeling and testing, and truth be told, once we have the SPS standards in place, SPS measures and protocols in place, all these things would form naturally into what will take place under those protocols. Mr. Speaker, the agriculture land use policy as well. This is a work in progress. I am acutely aware of a meeting that was held between the two ministries, and we will make sure that we are in a position to determine certainly the amount of land that should be retained for agriculture and what can be used otherwise for development and investment. So, Mr. Speaker, with that being said, I believe that we have captured pretty much all that was needed, and I now beg to move that this bill be read a third time.
A second time, honorable member.
Second time, Mr. Speaker.
The question is that this bill be read a second time. All those honorable members in favor, please say aye. Those against, please say no. We think the ayes have it.
Mr. Speaker, I beg to move that you do now leave the chair to allow for this bill to be considered in committee.
The question is that the Speaker do not leave the chair and the House resolve itself in the committee for further consideration of this bill. All honorable members in favor, please say aye. Those against, please say no. Me think the ayes have it.
This House is now in committee.
I beg to move that clause 1 do stand part.
Question is that clause 1 stand part. All honorable members in favor, please say aye. Aye. All those against, please say nay. Methinks the ayes have it.
Madam Chair, I beg to move that clause 2 do stand part.
Question is that clause 2 stand part. All honorable members in favor, please say aye. All those against, please say nay. Methinks the ayes have it.
Madam Chair, I beg to move that clause 3 do stand part.
Question is that clause 3 stand part. All honorable members in favor, please say aye. All those against, please say nay. Methinks the ayes have it.
Madam Chair, I beg to move that clause 4 do stand part.
Question is that clause 4 stand part. All honorable members in favor, please say aye. All those against, please say nay. Methinks the ayes have it.
Madam Chair, I beg to move that you do now report the passing of one bill in committee. To His Honor the Speaker.
Seconder. Question is that I do now report to His Honor the Speaker the passing of one bill in committee. All honorable members in favor, please say aye. All those against, please say nay. Methinks the ayes have it.
Chairman of committees has reported the passing of one bill in committee.
Mr. Speaker, I beg to move that this bill be now read a third time.
Question is that the bill be read a third time. All those honorable members in favor, please say aye. Those against, please say no. Meeting the ayes have it.
Mr. Speaker, I do beg to move that this bill be now passed and cited as one bill, the Pesticides Control Amendment Bill 2020. Act 2020.
The question is that the aforementioned bill be passed and so cited. All those honorable members in favor, please say aye. Those against, please say no. Meeting the ayes have it. This bill is passed and so cited. Number 5.
Order number 5, sir. Order number 5, in the name of the Honorable Minister of Housing, Lands and Maintenance, to move the passing of the resolution to approve, in accordance with Section 5 of the Crown Lands Vesting and Disposal Act, Chapter 225, the vesting in the Barbados Tourism Investment, Inc., a company incorporated under the Companies Act. Act, Chapter 308, of the parcel of land, the property of the Crown, situate at Bay Street in the parish of St. Michael, in this island, more particularly described in the schedule to this resolution, for the public purpose of tourism development.
Honourable Member for Christchurch West.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I don't intend to delay the House very long on this matter. This is a very small parcel of land, 24.5 square meters, approximately 240 square feet, the equivalent of less than 2 car park spaces. Essentially, when this land was first vested in BTII, subsequent to that, when a further survey was done, it was found that a little bit more of beach land had in fact accreted. And that accretion of land is what we are now requiring to be vested in BTII, so that we can complete this, this legal matter of this vesting and then the sale of the land to the interested party, so that we can get on with the construction of the tourism investment that's being there. So when this was first done on May 28th, when the House approved the resolution, it was 69 square meters of land at Browns Beach, Bay Street, Michael. But what has happened is subsequent to that, when a further survey was done, it was found to have increased to now 93.5 square meters because of the amount of accretion that we're seeing there on that land, which is the area that is between two parcels of land, which was a drain. And when I think of that drain, you know, Mr. Speaker, many years ago, that land, that sea actually used to come up almost to the back of the buildings. I remember as a boy going just behind those buildings, and the sea actually used to come up all the way to almost hitting the walls. And to see how so much beach has accreted, how much sand and beach has accreted there now, and made it almost one of the best beaches in Barbados. Very popular amongst locals and visitors alike. And it forms part of what I call the Platinum Horseshoe as it moves around Carlisle Bay. So this is a small vesting of 240 odd square feet, so that we can tidy up this transfer over to BTII and get going with the development in the area. So I'd ask that this resolution do not pass.
The question is that this resolution do not pass. All those honorable members in favor, please say aye. Those against, please say no. We think the ayes have it. This resolution stands passed. Honorable Leader, Government Business.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I beg to move the suspension of the sitting until 3:45 p.m.
Seconder, please. The question is that this honorable chamber be suspended until 3:45 p.m. All those honorable members in favor, please say aye. Those against, please say no. Me think the ayes have it. This honorable chamber stands suspended until 3:45 p.m.